Yes, greetings, blessings, people. We're here, we're live and direct on the Big Bad Station. And of course, we have the legendary Etana. What a blessing to speak with this amazing artist. So, of course, Etana, tell the listeners who you are and a little bit about yourself.
I'm Etana, and I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. I'm a reggae artist, and I've been in reggae music for over 12 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
I have eight albums, 2 Grammy nominations, a couple number ones.
Wow, the list continues, it keeps going. The list just keeps going, I hear that, wow.
Yeah.
So you know what, when it comes to this amazing journey of music for you, can you tell us about it? How did it all begin? How did it all start?
I was a background vocalist for Richie Spice.
Yeah.
In 2004. And then the first song was released in 2006.
Okay, yeah.
Called Wrong Address. We don't want no trouble. And then the second one, Roots.
Yeah.
Then the album was finally released in 2008. After being a background vocalist for Richie Spice and the Wrong Address song was released, it became so popular that I was told by management that it was not going to be a good idea for me to be a background vocalist anymore.
Yeah.
And so I had to go off on my own.
Wow. So how did you find that? Because obviously being a backing vocalist, you kind of have the comfort of being in the background, I suppose. Then you've come to the forefront.
Exactly.
And just exploded the place. Just mashed it all up, as they say. How was that for you?
It wasn't easy at first because, like you said, I had to take it to the front stage and be brave enough to just do it, you know. And that's what I did. I just said, well, this is what it is, and I am where I am and who I am, and I just did it.
Yeah. Wow, you just did it. You make it sound so easy.
Yeah, but I had no other choice, you know, because by this time my life became music.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't choose to do it that way, then what would be the next direction? You know, it would feel like starting all over again to do something completely different.
Wow. And so, you know, before the journey of music, before kind of getting to know Richie Spice, I hear that you wanted to be a nurse. Is that true?
I sure did.
Oh, wow.
I started school and everything, and in the middle of it all just decided, you know what, maybe I'm going to try something different for now.
Yeah.
And so I joined the girl group called GIFT.
Yeah.
It was 4 of us, 4 females.
Yeah.
One from Ghana, one from Jamaica, one from Guyana.
Yeah.
And I think the other one from New York. Okay. So it was 4 of us.
It was an eclectic mix of flavors and styles, for real. So how did that all come about then? How did that happen? Like, did you guys know each other before, or?
No. I at that time when I decided to do something different, I told a friend of mine that I was bored.
Okay.
Of doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And I decided to follow along. He said there was a person who was looking for 4 girls. Okay. And I fit the description of what they were looking for, so I should do the audition.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't have anything to lose anyway, so I'm just going to do the audition. Yeah. And I got into the group on the same day.
Wow. Because I'm really interested as well in the song that you did after, you know, the group, and obviously you must have split up and so forth and gone your separate ways. The song I Am Not Afraid was such a powerful tune for me, and I'm really interested to know the background story behind that tune. How did it all happen?
Well, it's a mixture of my life and what was going on in the world around me. Okay. So in my life, I had a management issue. Like I was, you know, battling between a canceling, leaving the manager that I had at the time, finding a new manager, and all the other new managers were talking about my image and what it needed to be for me to really make it or to survive in music, and it just wasn't what I was with the Afro natural hair and the whole militant look. They just were not having it, and so I was saying to them that I'm not afraid to be who I am at the moment. This is who I am right now.
Yeah.
You know, and then in the news around me, the construction workers were complaining, and employees were complaining about having to work and not get paid, or to be in a line after you get paid, after you work, for sexual harassment, or for stories as to why you couldn't get paid, stuff like that, you know. And that's why I said standing in a them government line, you know, meaning working but still having to give so much of yourself still just to collect the same paycheck where you work for, you know. And same thing, like, I do a show and you're supposed to get paid as a background vocalist. You have a man come say, well, you know, say, while him a touch you, him a tell you, say, yo, you know, say it never really work out, so, you know, this is what it is, kind of like that, you know. And then there's also the turf war that was going on in Augusttown when we couldn't go home because passing one area could mean risking stray bullets coming to the vehicle or direct bullets coming to the vehicle, just because of the territory that we live on, you know. So it was a lot of things all in one. So I tried to find a way to put it all in one song.
You know, when I first heard that song, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very deep song. At the time, I was getting bullied in school, and that song came out. That song came out, and it was so powerful. It was like, wow, don't be afraid, just go for it. So yeah, that song. Right. Different energy, different vibe. It's for real.
Yeah.
But you know, you put all your. Sorry, you go first.
Go ahead. No, I just think it became a part of everybody's life in different ways, you know. There was a little girl some years ago who had some spiritual battles. Like, it was so bad for her that the spirit would come around and move her around the room. And the song that she would sing during that time was "I'm Not Afraid," while battling that spirit.
Wow, how powerful.
And a lot of other people have their own stories. So it became our story.
Definitely, I hear that. So, you know, each and every song that you do, I can always hear like the passion and sort of like a piece of you is left in that song. So, you know, when you're doing your songs, do you kind of feel a little bit vulnerable when you're doing them? How does it work for you?
Oh, I remember when I was recording the song "Free." I cried like a baby before recording I had to stop recording the song, pull myself together, and then sing the song. I was very emotional. I still get emotional sometimes when I sing the song, or even I Rise. You know, so all the songs come from a very deep place.
I can hear that 100%. And of course, you know, I always am interested as yourself as an artist. How do you go about writing your songs? I know it seems like a lot of it's to do with like your environment, but do you freestyle it? Do you write it down? How does it work for you?
I don't freestyle it. It has to be something that I feel. Something that I experience, or a story that I know about. You know, everything that I write is 100% real, like real as real can be.
I hear that 100%. And you know, you mentioned earlier about obviously working with Richie Spice, and I've spoke with him, and he's a great guy when I was speaking with him. And I wanted to know, how did that actually come about? How did that kind of relationship happen?
It wasn't really a relationship, you know. It's just that he had a management team that believed that he needed a background vocalist because the one that he had before was about to give birth. And so they needed to replace her. So they asked me, his management team asked me to just come along for one show. And after doing the one show, they asked me to do another one. And it became a thing where, you know, it was just constant and consistent.
Yeah.
So as soon as we came back, there was always another one until we did a tour together.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. And you know, when I said to people, you know, I'm going to be interviewing Etana, they always ask me, I don't know what it was, but everybody, since I think yesterday or the day before, lots of people have been asking me to ask you this particular question, which was about your connection with Rasta and kind of what your principles and ideas are about it.
Oh man. So some years ago, I realized one thing. Like I've always been deep into the liberty, right?
Yeah, for real.
And what it stands for, like to care for each other,
yeah,
the elderly, the poor, the sick. You know, to be there for each other, care and share for yourself as well, self-preservation, and taking care of you, and being one with nature. You know, kind of thing. And then there's some parts of it that I could not grasp. Like I still don't like it. Like when I went up to Baba Hill and they were like, sister, when are you on your period?
Okay.
And I said, no, that's not your business, you know. And they were like, well, you know, you can't go in the tabernacle if you're cleansing and things like that, you know.
Okay.
And I'm saying, well, it's natural. It's a natural thing. I just didn't feel like it was anybody's business to ask me that.
Yeah, for real.
And I do know the biblical side and story of it, but I feel like that's a part of it that, to me, kind of makes women look as if they are unclean or less than just because something is happening to you that is natural. You know?
For real.
And in addition to that, my next view, I was so surprised to see like Skepta talking about certain things, because these were always my issues from before. Like when he was talking about the organization of the Rastafarian community. Yeah. Like you can't find a proper school, you don't have a proper bank, there's no structure. When you're sick, you don't go. Yeah. You have to find one. There isn't one. Have to go to a doctor, a regular doctor, and take for them medicine, you know. And certain things, the organization and the structural part of it was always like, you know, because a system without structure and without a firm foundation isn't respected across the board. Yeah. Like if you look on the Christianity thing and everybody else, the Muslim, all of them have a structure, they have a foundation, they have a system they follow. But that is what's lacking, you know, and only for different things. So to me, you know, I'm saying that for a people who speaks of unity so much, you know, and not display it, I just think it's just not supposed to be in your ear alone. It's not a style, you know, and a clothes and ear. It's much deeper than that. So when some people say, oh, you know, have lots, so you're a Rasta, that's the thing. They don't get it. It's not in the hair and it's not in the clothes. It's in how you live. Yeah, 100%. 100% have to agree with that.
And you know, when it comes to yourself, I feel like you really kind of cross the boundaries when it comes to not sticking to what people tell you to do. And I wanted to know, where does that strength come from? Because you're very inspiring. Where does it come from?
Well, I only have one life to live in this flesh. Yeah. Right?
For real.
And so I cannot afford to have people dictate to me how that journey must go.
Yeah, I hear that.
I choose how my journey goes, you know, and because in the end, when I close my eyes and me and them I close my eye, I'm me alone. Yeah. So and my Creator know, and most I know, the energy know, you know, that universal energy knows my heart. It knows my thoughts. The most I know me. Yeah. And when I lay on my bed and when I stand up with my two hands up in my ear or I go for my knee, that is my communication between me and the Most High. Yeah. So I just have to go and dictate my own journey. Yeah. And I say how it goes. Nobody else.
I hear that. I like that. You have to big up yourself for that, for real. And you know, for yourself now, who's either artistic wise, or even just in life in general, who has inspired you as an artist and as a person?
Well, growing up, I would say people like Etana and Sister Kalonji and Stevie Wonder and all the great musicians and artists that you could ever think of, Lutan Fire, even Jackura's music in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes when you call certain names, people go, oh, him, they got the personality, you know?
Yeah.
But even the music itself is bigger than the personality, and that them not understand. The music is bigger than me.
Yeah.
Because it comes from a place where me can't touch physically enough. So, you know, I enjoy the creation of the artist more than the personality of the artist.
Yeah, I hear that, for real. It's just like when people mention people like Michael Jackson and all these other artists, you know, the music lives and lives and lives.
Exactly.
For real.
Nobody asked the question like, how was he as a person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not important. Now what's important is how the music made you feel.
Yeah.
And that come from a place that is bigger than even the person who created.
For real. And you know, I want to know as well, when you go out on stage, or even if you're just jamming in the recording studio, whatever it may be, do you ever get nervous to go out on that big stage in front of all those people?
I have never been nervous, not one day, to be on stage. The first time that I can ever remember being nervous is when I was a child, like 8 and 10 and, you know, them ages.
I hear that. Wow.
But as I get older, there's never been a time when I was ever shaking.
Okay.
I think the only time that I feel any kind of funny way is if I'm in a small room. And it's still, I wouldn't say it's nervous. I would say it's balancing the energies in the room.
Yeah.
You know, the way they like finding yourself in the center of it all.
I hear you. Yeah, definitely. The reason why I ask is because even myself as a DJ, I get nervous. So I'm asking like for some tips, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, so what does a sister do here? Because I still get nervous, and I think it's because, you know, when you're kind of in front of everybody and everybody's looking at you, you know that you want it to be right in its own way.
Yeah. So but you see, when I look in the mirror, right? I know my purpose.
Yeah.
And I know who I am.
For real.
And so, when you're sure of your purpose, and you know who you are, and what you are supposed to do to be in line with who you are, then nothing else really matters. When you step into the room, you are who you are.
I hear that. Yeah. I'm going to remember that, you know. I'm going to remember the words of what you just said.
Always remember that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to have that as a little saying, I think, and then say it's from you, definitely.
I am who I am.
For real, for real. And you know, you mentioned as well earlier that you've been nominated.
I am all the time.
You know, you mentioned earlier about you being nominated for different awards, from Nobos to Grammys to this. And I want to know, how does that feel, or does that not bother you in the great scheme of things?
I am grateful more than anything. I am absolutely grateful for all the acknowledgement and all the achievements along the way. But I still feel like I have so much to accomplish, so much to do, so much to strengthen my mark, that I don't say, I don't make it a big deal. You know, I just keep going because I know that there is much more to do. And each time that I get higher, each step, you know, each accomplishment, each achievement just simply means that you have to work that much harder to go higher, or to outdo the last one.
I hear that, definitely.
So the work is never done.
For real. And you know, one thing I have seen with yourself in particular is you do like a lot of acoustic vibes. Like I've seen it on, you know, socials and things. And I wanted to know, because I haven't really seen many artists do that. and I feel like it's so powerful when it's just kind of like guitar, yourself singing. Where did that kind of idea come from, or was there a purpose to that, or did it just happen? How did that come about?
No, I just decided to do a jam session.
Okay.
Just to kind of vibe with my fans, and it just became a thing when they were like, "Yo, do this again tomorrow. Can you do this again next week?"
Yeah.
So I just continued, and that's how we ended up doing the car video, doing the one in the streets, doing the one by the beach side.
Yeah.
And I think the very first time that we ever did something like that was with I think his name is Anthony Bourdain or something like that. I think he passed away too.
Okay.
He used to walk around and go from country to country and meet different people.
Yeah.
I can't remember his first name, but I know his last name is Bourdain. And we did an interview on the beach.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was the first time that we ever, and I was like, you know what, let's just do this again and again and again and again. And people started to, draw to acoustic sessions.
For real, because I feel like an acoustic vibe is quite a vulnerable way of doing music, because you haven't got, say, everything behind you to...
It's up close and personal.
Yeah.
It shows everything. It shows your whole face.
Yeah, for real.
It shows all of you. Yeah.
I hear that. Yeah, keep doing them, man. Keep doing them. And I know that yourself is coming to the UK. I know you're doing so many different tours and different projects at the minute. And I wanted to know, what is your plans when you come to the UK?
To tear down the place and put it back together nicely.
Hey! oh. I hear that. So how is tour life?
Turn up the fire.
Yeah. I can't wait for that, for real. And how is tour life treating you at the moment? How are you doing? How is the tours going?
It's going really good.
Okay.
We've been to a lot of places, and we've been in Europe, and now we're in America, and then we're gonna be back over there. In the UK. It's too far for what, man. Then we're going to be back in there.
Yeah, I hear that, for real. And people always want to know your latest projects, or where they can catch you next. So let the listeners know and the people know your projects that are coming up, or anything in particular you want them to go and check out.
So the Acoustic Gold will be out, the same kind of vibe that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But this time on record.
Okay.
So they can stream it over and over again as much as they'd like.
Wow.
And then there'll be a rhythm project that will be released by Free Mind Music.
Okay.
Then I have my album.
Nice.
After that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to come,
Wow.
And I look forward to it all.
Definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to be playing it all the time, most definitely. And I appreciate your time, because like I said before, you're so busy traveling and doing everything that you have to do. And I appreciate the fact that you're speaking with me. It's greatly appreciated, 100%. And as you know, before I can say goodbye, or goodbye for now, as they say, is there anything either you want to say or sing for the listeners out there?
To say or sing, I would want to say to be at the festival. Be at the show in Birmingham and in Islington.
Yeah.
And be ready for an experience that you won't forget.
Hey.
Be ready for an experience that you will not forget.
Okay.
That you will always remember. But prepare for tear down the place and turn up the fire hot.
Hey.
And then calm it back down.
I like that. It's going to be a blessing. I cannot wait for it, for real. And you know what, sis? I hope you have a blessed journey on your music, and just keep going, because we're looking forward to it, and I enjoy everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me, DJ Kat.
Anytime, you're always welcome. Any music you want me to showcase, really push out there, definitely send it to me. I'm glad that you put it on the radio, for real.
Oh, thank you.
Anytime, it's a blessing.
Thank you so much.
Anytime, you're always welcome.
Thank you so much.
More love. Bless up.